Welcome to a very special episode of Under Construction. I love these episodes. I love when there's like breaking news right after we do our Sunday show, and then we come back and there's more stuff to talk about.
And the
Um,
crap hits the fan. It's always fun.
yeah, this is like breaking within like the last hour or so. Breaking news: Bryce Young is being benched. Dave Canales had a short press conference in which he stated that Andy Dalton would be the starting quarterback of the Carolina Panthers going into next Sunday's game against the Las Vegas Raiders in Las Vegas. And this is something a lot of fans were calling for in our chat yesterday. A lot of you guys were like, hey, is it time to start Andy Dalton? And it looks like Dave Canales agreed. In his press conference, he simply stated that he looked at the film. There were a lot of people involved. David Tepper was not one of them. And that he felt like, as a coach, his job was to make sure the Carolina Panthers could win. And Andy Dalton gives the Panthers the best chance to win moving forward. Jamal, do you think that's just coach speak? Do you think he really believes that? Do you think he's just like, shit, I need to save my job week 2? What do you think, Jamal?
I think Dave Canales has heard the noise. I think there is a lot of noise going around Bryce Young. Time out. Before we get into this discussion, Carolina boy, when I first logged on to this program we got, man, I busted out laughing, man. Kaz is,
you know
man, great.
What's funny about this picture? This is from last season. Crazy. I know, right?
That is sad and funny at the same time.
Yeah,
but anywho, man, I think Canales has heard the noise and let him tell it. He watched film. He saw the same thing we saw, and he saw it in more detail. You understand what I'm saying? Kaza, believe it or not, man, I don't think this is coach speak, man. That may be surprising coming from me, but I think Canales has looked at the fact that, Bryce Young has what a 8 for QBR. He's the second lowest is 23, which is Caleb Williams, who's a rookie quarterback. So, man, early indications kind of pointed to it was time for a change, man. I hate to say that because Bryce Young is a we all like him as a person. He's a fine young man. He has great character. But at the same time, man, I mean, this is approaching Jimmy Clausen territory. Let's be for real. Let's just be real, man. Regardless of whether Young was ever set up for success in Charlotte, man, the results are what they are, and the results are just awful right now, man. And let me say this: here's what I'm interested in, because this is what I don't think Canales answered this question, but here's what I'm interested in. Is Bryce Young still the guy going forward for the next year, 2, or 5? You understand what I'm saying? Because this may be a good thing for Bryce Young if the Panthers still have his best interest in mind, if that makes any sense at all. You know what I mean? Like, I know Canales, I think one of his quotes was the season is slipping away. So that lets me know, no, we're not trying to tank. We are trying to win football games, regardless of what Charlotte fans think about tanking, because that question comes up every season, unfortunately. But it's clear Canales is trying to win games. But the question remains, is Bryce Young still – no, let me rephrase that question. Do the Panthers think Bryce Young is the guy for the next year, 2, 3, or 5, or whatever?
Yeah, we talked about this yesterday. Are the Panthers looking to win now, or do they want to win 5 years from now? And you have to figure out Bryce Young or some other solution in the interim, because 5 years from now, Andy Dalton will not be a Carolina Panther.
Right.
Andy Dalton is let me back up a little bit. This is Canales trying to ensure he doesn't get fired before the end of the season, right? because we know this morning there was some conversation with David Tepper. That much we know because every team has their Monday meeting with the ownership. And
to be clear, they had that meeting even before Sunday's game.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm sure the conversations with David Tepper cannot be good, right?
Right.
So he's like, I got to do something to show that I am here to make sure the Carolina Panthers win. And the Carolina Panthers have 99 problems, right?
Right.
And Bryce Younge
happens to be one of them, but
he's
maybe
just
not
one of
the
those,
only
right?
One. Right.
But
right.
I think he's the most visible problem because he's the quarterback. So you change that. Now here's the thing. I said that I was talking to our friend JG before we went on. Does it really make any difference? Is it really progress if the Panthers lose by 24 instead of 30 next week? Because that's what's going to happen. They're still going to lose. They're still going to look bad on both sides of the ball, losing. So what does it matter? Why not let Bryce go out there and get the reps? Well, the reason you don't let him get the reps is because the owner's like, hey, what are you doing about this? And you got to make some big, visible public move, and that is benching the quarterback. Now, whether or not that's good for Bryce, maybe. Anecdotal evidence shows that a quarterback sitting does not develop a quarterback in the NFL. It's never happened. I know people are going to point to Brett Favre, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, but those guys, I think, were already NFL ready when they came in. Brett Favre even said, which is the irony is that Brett Favre was in the same situation as Aaron Rodgers in that he sat behind, a veteran and, came out and was instantly better. But Brett Favre was like, no, I didn't teach Aaron Rodgers anything. Why would I?
Why would I? I don't want this guy taking my job. Right.
Exactly. Why would I want to teach some guy how to take my job? Bryce Young is not going to learn behind Andy Dalton. He's just going to sit there and get the mental reps. And I think that Bryce Young needs a lot more than the mental reps right now. He needs the field time. Unfortunately, that's not good for the Panthers, for him, not right now. If he's out there getting snaps, they're losing. So
I want to talk more to your point about expectations because it's something that it was like the first thing I thought about when I heard the news. And I don't know how many Panther fans out there are just automatically like, oh man, we'll look like a different team come Sunday. Will we? And I'm kind of echoing the same points you just made. Let's not act like quarterback is the only problem on this football team. This defense has taken a step back. This offensive line, as far as much money as Tepper spent on this offensive line, still has some question marks, mainly at left tackle. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Ike Ekwonu, for the third straight year. But anyway, I digress. The point is obvious, man. There are still a lot of holes on this football team. Can we get the run game going? Are we going to go away from Chuba Hubbard after he's averaging 6 yards a carry with only 10 carries? Like, these questions are still there, man. And again, I don't want to sound like a parrot, but we go out there and we lose by 24 instead of 30. Where's the real progress, man? So
didn't Andy Dalton start for his last season a game?
And we lost the game. Yeah.
I remember he had like 300 yards and we still got our ass kicked.
And we just looked a little better losing. And I'm predicting that's probably what's going to happen Sunday. Listen, man, I would love to be wrong. If the Panthers go out there and get a win, it would just be nice to see some damn Charlotte team win a game. I'd be happy for that. But again, my expectations are just not going to be any higher because Andy Dalton stopped starting.
Yeah, let's be real clear about Andy Dalton. This ain't even 5 years ago Andy Dalton. This is certainly not Andy Dalton, because Andy Dalton was a really good NFL quarterback, right? I mean, he was
at one point. At one point in time, yeah.
I think he was a better pure passer than Cam Newton, and there was always a lot of comparison between those two. They came in the league at the same time, but that was a long time ago. That was a long, long time ago. Andy Dalton is going to just, he's going to make the correct reads and he's going to make some good throws. That's not enough for the Carolina Panthers right now to win games. And my thing is, this isn't the NBA. In the NFL, this is going to be hot take, controversial take. Tanking works. It has always worked. Getting the number one pick in the NFL is so impactful. It just is, because you can get the guy that's going to change your franchise, and is either going to be, a quarterback, or probably a pass rusher, or just some stud that you can build your team around. That's what the Carolina Panthers need.
Let me clean that up a bit for you, Kaza. It works if you pick the right guy. If you do not pick the right guy, it will set your franchise back years.
It will. It will. But I mean, so there was a question there, and there's been the question about whether or not Bryce was the right guy. Clearly, he's not. But I don't want fans to get hung up on the idea that CJ Stroud was the right guy. The right move was to not trade for the number one pick. That was
I totally agree there.
I really hate to harp on what could have been. But you trying to tell me Steve Wilkes by the way, this was the number 4 defense in yards allowed per game last season. I don't think they were quite as good as that number would indicate. I really don't believe they were the number 4 defense in the NFL, but they were capable. Steve Wilkes was a capable defense. And let's not pretend like when Sam Darnold didn't have Christian McCaffrey there, them first 4 games of that season, it was like, yo, what is up with Sam Darnold? And we see what he's doing in Minnesota right now with the best wide receiver in the league. Baker Mayfield looks reborn in Tampa. I think that if you had something that you could build on already right there, and what you had fit the identity of the Carolina Panthers, which for the last 30 years has been play defense, stop the run the ball. That's the identity of the Carolina Panthers. We have changed that. We have changed that. I don't know what they want our identity to be now. I guess throw the ball a bunch. And you got rid of all that. For what?
See, speaking of that, speaking of identity and what we used to be, see, therein lies a huge problem with the Dave Tepper era. Because, Kaza, I think you remember, and a lot of people in the chat probably remember, Tepper, he wanted to do away with the old Carolina Panthers identity. He wanted nothing to do with that identity. He wanted this more modernized offense. He's seeing the Chiefs win all these Super Bowls with Patrick Mahomes, and he wanted that. He wanted the Carolina Panthers version of that. Up-tempo, throw the ball around the field, and that's not who we are. So what happened was, he developed this infatuation with the quarterback. And Jamar Knox already mentioned it. It's been knee-jerk reaction after knee-jerk reaction with Dave Tepper, trying to create this identity in his head that he obviously has not gone about the right way to get there.
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the narcissism has killed the Carolina Panthers.
The ego and the narcissism. Yes, sir.
He buys a team, pays cash for it, essentially. He don't have an investment group. He literally came out his bank account to pay for the Carolina Panthers. And he's like, I'm going to make a splash. And he's been trying so hard to make that splash, and he has in the wrong ways, that he refused to let the team build organically, which is what good owners do. I'm going to switch to the other professional team in Charlotte for a minute and talk about Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan realized a little too late that he can't make all the decisions, right? That's always been the problem with Michael Jordan. He had his hand in making too many bad decisions over and over, and by the time he realized, okay, I got to hire people that make and he hired Kupchak, James Borrego, and the Hornets are better now. They're in a better place, even though they're new owners now. By the way, the new owners haven't even done anything. What we have now with the Charlotte Hornets, that is Michael Jordan realizing, man, I got to back off, okay?
Yeah.
Dave Tepper's got to do that. Dave Tepper has to say, I'm going to let these football guys.
I'm laughing at Willie Smith's comment, man. That's the comment.
He's Elon Musk in the NFL. He's got to just back off and say, okay, you know what? Let me hire people that are smarter than me from a football standpoint and
Right.
let them run the team.
But you know, man, billionaires, man. Hey, man, because I'm a billionaire, I am automatically the smartest guy in the
That's
room when it
true.
comes
Yep.
to anything. You know, hey, man, Charlotte did not have any live music before I got there. Like, man, please,
By the
dude.
way, the Carolina Panthers have the worst record in the league since the time David Tepper took over. So in the 5 seasons, 6 years that David Tepper has been owner of the Carolina Panthers, they now have the worst record in the league since the Jets won yesterday. The Carolina Panthers, reminder, were a playoff team the year before. The year now David Tepper bought the team that season, but that season they went to the playoffs. They lost to the Saints in the wild card round, and they have not had a winning record since then. And if you recall, the very next season, they let Cam go. Luke Kuechly said, "F this, I'm out." Greg Olsen goes to actually he went to Seattle the year before. But you know, the team just started falling apart right then and there. And then the very next season, you know, they trade off McCaffrey. They get all this draft capital for him, and then they waste it trading up for the number 1 pick. It's so bad. So here's where we are today. Bryce Young benched, and that's the hot news. But I think as a Panthers fan, my concern is, okay, what now?
What's next? What's next? And you know, it's amongst the first question we asked on tonight's stream, man. Like, where are the Panthers going to go next season? We can even talk about next season, you know, and we had this discussion on yesterday's pod, man, about, you know, possible quarterbacks, which, you know, you're not a fan of any of them, which I don't really blame you. I'm more of a fan of the guy from Tennessee, Pierce, more than anybody, the defensive end. But the question remains, man, what is the future of the Panthers? And it's pretty damn embarrassing that we're asking this question after 6 years. Why are we here? I mean, I know the answer to that question, but we're here after 6 years. A normal rebuild for any team, 5 max, and we are starting over again after 6. It's embarrassing.
This is a good question from Swagner. Does this move mean, however, Tepper's letting Dan and Canellis run things now? Now, Dave Canellis did state that, or implied heavily, that Tepper was not involved in the decision to bench Bryce Young. I don't know if I believe that, but at the same time, I have no reason to believe that David Canellis would just like lie about that.
Right.
I think ultimately the decision was his and maybe Dan Morgan's, and then Tepper might have said, "Okay, all right. I mean, this is your job on the line here."
Look, man, I'm just kind of bloviating, and this is just conjecture, man. But now that I'm thinking through this, I'm thinking that this decision probably was Canales and Morgan, and I'm gonna tell you the reason why. Now that I'm thinking through this, man, Tepper's ego is so big. Tepper wants to be proven right, that he got the right guy, Bryce Young, because I don't give a damn what anybody says. Tepper wanted Bryce Young. It was clear as day that Frank Reich wanted C.J. Stroud and Tepper wanted Bryce Young, regardless of context. I don't want to get into the context right now. But the fact remains, and where I'm going with this is, the reason I think it's Canales' and Morgan's decision, Tepper would probably be like, "No, man, Bryce Young is going to stay out there. No, he just needs more time. I know he's the right guy." It just wouldn't surprise me if Tepper thinks like that.
Yeah, Norman's comment here is kind of where I'm at with the team. I don't think we'll win 4 to 7 games this season, but I do think we should get an edge rusher in next year's draft. You got 3 franchise-changing edge rushers in college that are possibly going to draft next season. Draft, just get one of those guys. And Andy will be the starter for the next 2 or 3 years. I don't know if Andy will be the starter for the next 2 or 3 years because he's like, you know, he'll be 36, 37 next season. Not everyone can be Tom Brady and play into their late 30s, but I do think that a bridge now is when you want a bridge quarterback.
Yeah,
right. Years in the past when we were toiling around with Teddy Bridgewater and Sam Darnold and Baker. Boy, we could use those guys now.
Right now,
maybe Andy Dalton is our bridge quarterback. It's just that it would have been nicer to get like a slightly younger and better bridge quarterback, because I think that Darnold and Mayfield are better than Andy Dalton. But
here's devil's advocate though. Here's me playing devil's advocate. I mean, looking at the state of the franchise, even when they were here, I mean, it's kind of obvious no quarterback has ever been set up for success here. So
I mean, to go back to something that Toby said. Okay, so now a lot of people will feel like, well, hey, now we can see how good the O-line is, how good the wide receivers, tight ends are.
Right.
I don't know if I would go that far, because the implication there is that guys are getting open, but Bryce just ain't seeing them or hitting them. There are some plays that Bryce has missed on open receivers, but I'm not going to act like dudes is just like running free, sitting in zones out there, or that
consistently.
Right. Yeah. So, and plus, as much as I like Dave Canales, he wasn't that great of an offensive coordinator in Tampa, right?
20th ranked offense.
Right. So, what system do we hope to see him implement? The same one he had in Tampa, where that wasn't even a great defense, and he had better players in Tampa. Like, he had Godwin and Mike Evans, and they were still like bottom third in the league offensively. What's he gonna do with Xavier Legette and an old Adam Thielen? It's like, I'm not that sold on that. And as much as I like Canales as a person, he seems like a good coach, but I still don't think he was the right guy.
Look, man, you may have actually offered some hope in your statement. I know that wasn't the goal, but you actually may have offered some hope with Panthers fans. Maybe, just maybe, Dalton can get Legette going, and this is just me holding out some hope. You understand what I'm saying? Like, the one thing I will trust Andy Dalton over Bryce Young, obviously, not to be Captain Obvious, is experience. You understand what I'm saying? He's not gonna get happy feet in the pocket, man. He's not gonna panic. I feel very confident about that with Andy Dalton, and maybe that is enough to get some of those guys going. And hopefully it's Legette more than anybody, but hopefully it's enough to get those other guys going too, man.
That's true. I mean, we haven't seen much of Legette in the first 2 weeks. The little bit he saw, he looks fine. But, I mean, there's this. Who calls a pass on 3rd and 2? Now, you could say the play calling is dictated by Bryce Young's play or lack of.
But not on 3rd and 2 it ain't.
But I don't believe that. The play calling just hasn't been good. It just hasn't. Like, the situational play calling has been bad. The play calling's not magically going to get better because Andy Dalton's out there. It's going to be the same play calling. And I guess the difference will be, well, is Andy Dalton able to execute whatever vision it is that Dave Canales has when he calls these plays? But and I'm not sure if I see it. So
understood.
Okay,
I'm with you.
Well, but here, so Baker is playing with 2 Pro Bowl wide receivers, right? But those guys were there when Canales was there, right? So Canales doesn't have those guys this season. He don't have any Pro Bowl wide receivers.
He ain't got nothing close to a Mike Evans on this team. You best believe that.
So I'm like, what? I guess we'll see. Okay, Bryce Young's gone, so now we're gonna slot in a new quarterback, and so let's see what the system is. Honestly, the system just needs to be run the damn ball and call better plays. I mean, Chuba Hubbard is having. We're wasting Chuba Hubbard right now.
And I hate to shoot your hope down, man, but again, I got to go back to Tepper and his vision of what he wanted this team to be. Again, he wants this team to be a more modernized offense, to throw the football around the field, and that's never been who we are, man. And I'm with you, man. I mean, Chuba Hubbard got all this hype in the offseason. We heard how good he looked in training camp and in the scrimmage and all this stuff. And then when we get to the regular season, we're barely running the guy. Now, granted, we're down 14-0 in the damn first quarter out of the first 2 games we played. But at the same time, man, how many carries last game? 10? Come
10
on,
carries,
man.
6 yards per. So things, might be better once Brooks is back. I'd like to see what Brooks has got instead of Sanders. And we're going to link these 2 comments. Andy Dalton, and he slap protect to pick up the cornerback blitz. On 2 of those cornerback blitzes, they had actually recognized the blitz, and they set Miles Sanders to protect. He was supposed to pick up, but he didn't. A cornerback came in and just moved Miles Sanders out of the way. So
little thing called execution.
I don't know what Miles Sanders, they got, I hope Brooks is able to come back and then be like, Miles Sanders, sit your overpaid ass down. And I hate that because I was excited, like we all were, about the Miles Sanders pickup last season. And so far that hasn't.
Real quick about Miles Sanders, man. Again, I'm bloviating. I don't know this for sure, but it kind of feels like Miles Sanders, ever since he kind of realized his role is reduced, it looks like pouting. Like, well, you know what, man? If I ain't just start running back, why am I out here blocking? Why am I out here doing the small thing?
Yeah, if Chuba can get 6.5 yards a carry, why can't you? Because I do think our buddy Chris said this yesterday. I think the offensive line is better at opening up running lanes. I think they've done that better. The pass
no doubt,
garbage, but I think having Lewis and Hunt on the inside, the running game does look a little bit better. But we get down by 3 touchdowns in the first quarter, and we really can't run the ball anymore.
Yeah.
So, so my question is, okay, so Chuba's playing better. Why aren't you Miles Sanders? What is it?
And you've had a while to prove yourself. You know what I mean? And let's be clear, the only reason why he's on this team because they don't want to eat that contract just yet, man. So with that being said, I don't even know. I highly doubt Miles Sanders is even on this team next year, especially with Brooks being on the team now.
So after Dave Canellis is fired, because that's going to happen sometime in the next few years, it just is. Sorry, Panthers fans. Do we go with another first-time head coach?
I'm going to go back to what you said yesterday. Tepper, as rich as you are, and signing coaches does not count against the salary cap. Man, if you don't open up that damn checkbook and ask whoever the hot name is at the time, would you like to be the head coach of the Carolina Panthers? It is quite obvious. First-time coaches have not worked out here, man. It is quite obvious that Tepper and whoever the brass is involved in making these selections are not good at their job, okay? So go ahead, play it safe, get the hot commodity, get the proven coach, kind of like Jim Harbaugh, like been saying the last 4 years. Anyway, I digress. Go ahead and make that happen, man. I'm sick and tired. Like you, no more college shit, no more assistant coaches, no more coordinators. Go get the proven guy next go around.
So I guess the question is the offense the problem? Because see, here's what I'm saying. Like, I know Bryce Young being benched is the hot news, but there's a whole nother side of the ball that is playing just as bad.
Yeah.
They might be even playing worse than the offense, just from what I've seen on the field.
Hey, Kaz, you know what? I'm gonna say something, man. Me and you were actually wrong yesterday. You know why we were wrong? Because remember we were saying that the offense and the defense have no synchronicity. That's actually an incorrect statement. Both of them are bad, so they have synchronicity. When both of them are bad, you have bad synchronicity. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. For example, you go out there and you give up Jordan Fuller blows, and I'm talking about week 1. With Jordan Fuller and J.C. Horn blow the coverage and they score that quick touchdown, you're already in the hole. You don't put.
Good point. I mean,
you don't put your second-year quarterback in a good position doing that. You understand?
I'm not saying the Saints wouldn't have scored anyway, but
Right.
boy, did that set the tone. The third play
It
of
didn't
the
help,
game,
did it?
yeah, the third play of the game, you blow coverage, you get your assignments wrong. The offense ain't even stepped out there yet. And then, we saw yesterday, we talked about why on the goal line are you calling J.C. Horn on a blitz? He's been your best coverage back all game. You call him on a blitz, and you leave Josie Jewell in a situation where he's got to defend two zones and he's got to pick one. And he
Guys,
picked
I got a theory. I got a theory about.
He just picked wrong and he gave up an easy touchdown.
I got a theory about that. This is a stretch, but where's Canales? Where did Canales come from? Tampa Bay. who was that corner that used to blitz all the time? What team did he play for? Rondé Barber. Yeah.
J.C. Horn is not Rondé Barber. I mean,
right.
He's good, but he's not Rondé.
He ain't that type of DB. Yeah.
Because here's the problem. Now we are playing the Raiders next week, and they're not great.
Yeah, they're coming off a big win, though. I will say that.
Yeah, but I think they're good enough to. They're certainly good enough to win this game, right? So, what if the defense goes out there and lays an egg against the Raiders offense, like they did against the Chargers and the Saints, and now the offense is in a bad position again, and the offense is unable to produce or keep pace, which they probably won't be able to. Then what? Then then do we say, well, we got to give Andy Dalton another week?
I can already tell you the statement that'll be made. Oh, well, we're going to evaluate it from week to week, and then Bryce will start next week, and then he'll throw 3 picks, and then it'll just be a back and forth, man.
Do the Panthers need to make some kind of transactional move?
Hell no. That will not make anything better. There ain't nobody out there who's going to add any more win totals to this team. No, absolutely.
Hey, yeah, Andy is. Yeah, that's true. Maybe he can work. I'll tell you this: if the Panthers win next week, then the conversation does change, right?
Right.
It changes from, do we want to be a mediocre team, or do we want to tank and get the best possible pick we can? Because you know what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say, but you also know what Tepper and Canales are not gonna do. Let's be clear about that.
No. And no one on that team is gonna tank. In fact, they'll be energized by a win, and they will do the dumbest thing ever, which is go 7-10.
Right.
Because that's what the Carolina Panthers do. They're gonna go 7-10 and not be any better next season because they didn't pick up enough pieces to fill all the holes that they have. The Panthers,
and we'll be back on this hamster wheel once again. Yeah.
Exactly. But now here's the thing: I'll always cheer for the Panthers to win, even when I think they should tank. I'm always going to be happy every time they win. And if they give me 7 good Sundays this season, then so be it. At least I won't be embarrassed to wear my Panthers gear in my own city. But the Panthers, they need a Cam Newton. They need a Julius Peppers. They need a Christian McCaffrey. They need a Luke Kuechly. They don't have any of those. And if they go 7-10, or even if they make, God forbid, they make the playoffs, they certainly don't have a player like that on the horizon. And that's the problem, because Bryce Young is not the savior. So, okay, we missed on that one. Boy, did we miss on that one. And so now what? How do we get our savior? That's what the Panthers need to be thinking about. How do we get the guy that's going to change the face of the franchise? Because it's not Bryce Young. It ain't Andy Dalton.
I will offer you this, Kaza. The football doesn't have a lottery per se, but you know what I mean when I say the lottery, like top 15 picks to be exact. You can get a good guy in the top 15 in the NFL draft because of positions and how many positions on the field. Keep in mind, Micah Parsons wasn't a top 5 pick. Who somebody on this show said that Panthers really should go get that guy. I digress.
We both wanted him over J.C. Horn. Horn is a good pick,
sir. Yeah. So the point I'm trying to make is, and we're jumping way ahead. And guys, we know we're jumping way ahead here. But if the Panthers magically go win 5, 6, 7 games or whatever, I still would hold out hope that they can go get a really good guy that can help the franchise. But
I will say this. Dan Morgan surprised me with the move to pick up Leggett. I thought that was the move of the offseason because we were dreading the draft. We didn't have any first-round picks, and it was like, who are we going to get? And then you get maybe the best wide receiver in the draft, something you need for your quarterback. So I do have faith that Dan Morgan probably called Marty Hurney up like, hey, man.
Yeah, give me some advice, bro.
Some advice, right? So we do have a lot of picks. Like we have 9 picks next draft. So maybe it's not all bad, if we win 7 games. But that's the thing, you win 7, you might as well win 0.
Yeah, right.
And this is another thing that a lot of people overlook when it comes to tanking, particularly in the NFL. You don't want your division rivals to get better picks. We do not want the Falcons to get somebody that they can complement Michael Penix Jr. with, right? We don't want those teams to get better. The Saints don't need to get any better, right? I mean, although they look like they might win the Super Bowl, but what I'm saying is, we want to make sure that we keep the good guys from going to those teams as well. I think in the NFL, sometimes you have to say, maybe we should not try and win so much. Is it possible to not win and be somewhat not embarrassing? I don't know.
It's possible, but not with this roster. Let me. I want to tackle a couple of comments, man. Swagner, no, Leggett is not better than Marvin Harrison Jr. Not one bit. No, sir.
I forgot about Marvin Harrison Jr. But he had 189 yards yesterday.
Yeah. Chris brings up a good point. We do have 9 picks and a lot of salary cap space, but here's the thing, Chris. We have to make sure our owner, again, doesn't jump the gun, doesn't make some knee-jerk move to shed those picks and go waste salary cap space on some what's the word, bridge quarterback again. I know Hornets and Panthers fans both hate this word, but you always have to operate your franchise with a level of patience. Knee-jerk transactions have never worked out for either of these teams, man. So again, chill out with the 9 picks you got. Chill out with the salary cap you got. Spend it very wisely and just build this thing organically and just pick the right guys. That's how you turn this thing around, man.
I do have faith that Dan Morgan can pick the right guys. And to be fair, like Toby says, we have to show progress, and we're not doing that. We said at the beginning of the season that we weren't expecting the Panthers to win, more than 4 games.
Right, but they don't even look good right now.
Right. We had to see some progress in some area. We haven't seen any progress in any area on either side of the ball. Let's not forget that. I know that Bryce Young on the offense is what's misaligned right now. But even defensively, the Panthers have looked absolutely terrible because they have so many holes on defense. And I think the last 2 seasons, or I'll say before Bryce Young came, the Panthers were like, man, if only they had a competent offense, they'd be competitive. Because they had a good Hassan Reddick was on our team at one point. We have Hassan Reddick, Shaq Thompson, Frankie Louvu, and Derrick Brown at one point.
Brian Burns. Brian Burns too.
And Brian Burns, right. Yeah, I forgot about that, right? So the thought was the thought was, hey, if we just had a competent offense. So we cash it all in to rebuild and try and build our offense. But the problem is that now the defense is garbage. So it really doesn't matter. All those guys I just named are all gone. None of those guys are playing. Every guy I just named, except Shaq Thompson, who, I mean, whatever. But we don't have the defense we had 2-3 years ago when we needed an offense and a quarterback. Oh, yeah, and we have Stephon Gilmore. Thanks for the painful reminder that at one point we had Brian Burns, Stephon Gilmore, Hassan Reddick, Eric Brown, Frankie Louvu, and Shaq Thompson on the field at the same time.
Yep.
With Steve Wilkes coaching them. And Tepper thought, nah.
Willie, let me tackle this comment. The latest one by Willie. I mean, Willie, look, man. I'll say this, Willie. I have seen before where not just Panthers fans or the Panthers teams. I definitely have seen before where a football team looked like complete garbage first 4 weeks of the season, first 5 weeks, and eventually they turn around. And some have even turned around to the point where they get to playoffs. There is always that possibility. Let me be very clear about that. There's always that
2015 Panthers or 2014 Panthers.
Right. Same thing, man. Eventually got it together. But with the NFL, and I'm kind of taking the easy way out, but let's be clear, the NFL, we're always in the moment. You're always in the now with the NFL. And right now, at this moment, it damn sure does not look like it. Now, the whole narrative and the whole story changes. We go out there and we win next week. 1-2 sounds a hell of a lot better than 0-3. You know what I'm saying? So
that's a huge difference.
Right. And so I think that conversation is an ongoing conversation, just to keep it simple.
And I've always stated that the first few weeks of the NFL season are essentially an extended preseason, even more now because there's only 3 games in the preseason and you get a week off before the regular season starts. You could be right. And our ones didn't see that many snaps in the preseason. Bryce Young only played 1 series in the entire preseason.
And what's funny is, I know this is a very, very small sample size, not against the best competition, but there were times in the preseason where, people was like, well, hey, Bryce looks a lot better than he did last season. We were hopeful. You know what I mean? And
so, you could be right. But the thing is, I mean, the teams that end up being good in the NFL are teams that can win when they're not all together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like these first few weeks when they're still figuring things out. The teams that can win when they're still figuring things out because they've got talent or good coaching are the ones that have an advantage. That's why I think they showed the stat during yesterday's game. Teams that start the season 0-2 versus teams that start the season 1-1. Teams that start the season 2-0 make the playoffs 60% of the time. That's an absurd stat. Teams that start the season 1-1 only make the playoffs less than 40% of the time. So I mean that's a huge thing. The Panthers, even I still think that's the worst thing ever. If they certainly get it together and go on a win streak and sneak into a wild card spot, I don't think that's good for. I just don't think that's good for the Panthers. I mean, it's great because when we say okay, progress, but to what end?
Yeah.
Andy Dalton's your quarterback. You're still going to need a franchise quarterback, right? You still going to need
because I think we both agree. Don't stretch to go get one. Don't do this again. Don't go mortgage in the future to go get the guy who you think is the guy. I just don't ever want to see that again, man.
That's true.
Playoffs? Playoffs? You kidding me?
No. So is the Bryce Young era over?
I'm going to say not yet.
If the Panthers beat the Raiders next week, yes. I think that's it. I mean, why would you play if Andy Dalton goes out there and plays well and the Panthers win? Why would you play Bryce Young again?
You wouldn't.
You wouldn't play him again the rest of the season, barring injury to an old Andy Dalton.
But let me interrupt you there. I 100% agree, but I'm going to ask this question again. What's going to happen when Andy Dalton says, you know what, I've had enough of this football thing. I'm going to hang it up.
It's last season of his contract.
Yep. What do you do with Bryce Young at that point? That's my question still.
Well, I mean, if you draft Shadir Sanders, here's the thing. We've seen Chicago. Look at Chicago. Chicago drafted Justin Fields, right?
Yeah.
And the reviews were mixed on Justin Fields. What school did he go to again?
Ohio State.
Ohio State, you know how people feel about Ohio State quarterbacks. I still think that might be the main reason we picked Bryce over CJ. But they draft Justin Fields, and mixed reviews. There was something to build on. But then Caleb Williams makes a splash in college, and the Bears go, nope, that's our guy. So they trade off Justin Fields, who, by the way, is having a pretty good start this season in Pittsburgh. Go figure.
He's 2-0.
Right, and then they got to roll with Caleb Williams. I could see the Panthers doing that. Andy Dalton says, "Man, I'm hanging it up. I'm not taking any more hits for this shitty team." They trade Bryce Young to draft Shedeur Sanders or somewhere. Bryce goes somewhere else, actually looks decent, and we're left holding the bag with the Deion Sanders show, or something like that, right? I can totally see that happening, where they just trade Bryce Young off and say, it just didn't work out. Let somebody else deal with him.
Look, man, the term knee jerk has been thrown around this show a lot tonight. It's just going to be another one. It come draft time. As much as we don't want it to happen, and we're suggesting it doesn't happen, we know how to. We've seen enough evidence for how this franchise works, and I would bet the little bit of money I have that Dave Tepper and this brass are going to go for another quarterback when this draft comes around, man. I'll almost guarantee it.
Say it again, Chris. Franchise quarterbacks don't grow on trees.
It sure don't. You better be sure he is the guy when you try to get your franchise QB. Absolutely.
How many times do I gotta say it? We said that neither Bryce Young or CJ before the draft, neither of those was the guy. Not enough to trade all the draft capital and picks.
Not enough to trade all that stuff for.
To give up DJ Moore in a first. Okay, let's take Bryce Young out of the picture. Chad, you giving up DJ Moore in a first for CJ Stroud?
Tepper would.
With this team, I don't know about
that. I think that's the key term. With this team.
With this team.
Now, right. If it's the Texans, probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Now, the Panthers? Nah.
I do like Travis Hunter. But
I don't know if I like him at number one overall.
At number one, exactly. I mean, number one picks are reserved typically for quarterbacks, pass rushers, and offensive linemen, right?
Yeah.
Travis Hunter, first of all, what position is he going to play in the NFL? He's not doing
it. Shit, why not? Well, on this team, he should.
That would be crazy. I mean,
go ahead and add to the circus.
Deion did it a few times in his NFL career. Played wide. He was primarily a cornerback and a special teamer. He played wide out a few times, but he's gonna come in and he could play wide. I think he's a better corner than he is a wide out, but he's special when he's on the field. I just don't know about number one pick, right? James Pierce is my guy.
Yeah, rephrase that. He's our guy because I'm with you on that one, bro.
You need the next Von. If you can get the next Von Miller, and I'm not even saying he's going to be as good as Von Miller, but he has that kind of potential.
He's a beast. Let me tell you how good. Let me tell you how good Pierce is. Pierce was projected to go top 3 last year. That's how good that dude is.
Exactly.
Man.
Exactly. Travis Hunter this year, Arch Manning next year. I mean, that would be.
Hey, sign me up.
We ain't never been that lucky in Charlotte. The last time
in Charlotte sports history
was that lucky was getting Larry Johnson, then Alonzo Mourning the next season. We used up all of our lucky charms in 1992. That would be that would be pretty incredible.
Hey, Kaiser, real quick, man. Are we going to include our surprise topic now? We got about 10 minutes left, man. You want to go ahead?
Yeah, I guess there's really nothing else to say about the Panthers. Well, let me ask you: you changing your pick for next week?
No,
Changing your
I'll change.
score?
I'll change the score. Good,
Okay, so I said
good question.
24-7.
Yeah. What did I say? I said what? I said 21-6. I think that's what I said. I'll go a little more high scoring game now. I'll go 27-17 now.
Okay,
I'm still picking the Raiders to win.
I'll tack 2 field goals on there, so I'll go 24-13.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Brandon, real quick, man. I don't know how this sounds coming out of my mouth. I think it's risky with this team choosing another left tackle in the first round. You know what I mean? Like it depends on draft position. I'll keep it that simple, man.
Here's the thing about, to go back to where we say, hey, you gotta hit on your picks. You gotta draft the right guy.
You gotta draft the right guys.
Is there anyone in the chat who didn't think Ickey was the right pick?
We damn sure were with the pick. I liked him at the time.
Everyone was so excited about that pick, and it seemed like a good pick. And even during his rookie season, it seemed like.
And I was going to say, it's not like he didn't have a good year. He had a good year his first year.
Right. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I do want to hold up. So when I loaded up Madden 25 last month and saw Ian Thomas listed as the number 1 top, man, I cut his ass so fast. How is he still on the team?
Oh, God.
How? This man, I to remind everyone, this man played with Cam Newton. Like the original version of Cam Newton, not the I'm back Cam Newton. I mean, I'm talking about the original Cam Newton. Hold up, man. Hold up. Hold up.
You gotta look up so.
Hold up, I can't be.
Oh, boy.
How long has this guy been in the damn league? Hold on. All right, hold up. Footballreference.com.
Draft. I remember the pick. Drafted in the 3rd round, man. I think 2000. I want to say 14, 15, maybe. Man, I could be wrong about that.
2018.
2018. Okay.
So his rookie year was Cam's last year.
You know what?
We've been on the team 6. This is his 7th or 6th season as a Carolina Panther. How?
You know what's funny? I don't even remember him being re-signed. Does anybody remember Ian Thomas being re-signed? Anybody? I don't.
How? This man has less total yards. Hold up. This man has less total yards in 6 seasons as a Panther than Greg Olsen had
2 seasons
in 1 season.
God, dog, man.
This man got. This can't be right. This can't be. Hold up.
This is like Dwayne Jarrett being on the Panthers for 6 years. Like what? Like why? Like what? Like what?
6? How you 6 seasons? He's listed as 6'4", 260. 260 with tight end? How is he on the no?
That sounds like a Nicole.
This just made me just even more upset.
Yeah. I don't get it, bro.
You cut Cam Newton, but you kept Ian Thomas. You cut Cam Newton.
Let's trade Chris McCaffrey, cut Cam Newton, and keep Ian Thomas.
You traded DJ Moore.
Yeah, trade DJ Moore, right? Oh,
but you cut Brian Burns. Bye.
We don't need it. We can replace you, Brian Burns. We can replace
Ian
you.
Thomas,
We're good.
You need a job this year, Ian?
The 3rd string tight end, probably. Stick around.
Oh my God. I ain't gonna be able to sleep tonight thinking about this.
Guys, I have some breaking news for everybody. The Charlotte Hornets are not going to make the playoffs, y'all. If you had any hopes that the Hornets are going to make the playoffs, it's not going to happen. But it's not going to happen for the reason that y'all think it's not going to happen.
Hold on, let me see. Let me see if I can show the.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna show.
While you're doing that, I'll talk while you're doing that, man. I was so happy that the Hornets had a quiet offseason. What do I mean by a quiet offseason? You know, nobody got arrested. No, James Booknight wasn't found with some Doritos and drunk in a parking lot. Nobody got caught being a weekend
I know you want your bitch back.
Here we go, y'all.
She did that one dance on the dick, now her spine out. On my shooter Zachary, don't leave us open. This shit we smoking Supreme, ain't talking about the clothing. You ain't making paper, you meaty man. The Rosen. I just wanna hit your litty friend till it's swollen. I got a switch, I ain't trying to get no spanking. We caught the main out. Now I think them niggas tanking. We in public can't kill him, we gon' stump him. Kirk Franklin, she pouring her famous. I just asked her what's her ranking. Getting paper from these rocks, I can make some hoes scissor. Tell me she don't like her titties, I can make them hoes bigger. Smoking on a 3-5 wood, you just on switch. Fucking R&B singers, nigga, you be on Tinder. Getting green from this boy and girl, you don't know genders. Telling shit to the feds, nigga, you a...
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Oh god! Shoot me, please.
If she don't like her titties, I can make them hoes bigger. That's the bar of the. Oh my god! We done. We done. That's it.
Kaza, can you hear me, Kaza?
First round draft pick. Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. We had such a quiet offseason. I was so happy. Hey man, nothing happened this offseason. And y'all, I'm obviously just kind of messing around here. But god damn it, man. Like just shut up and don't do anything and just make it to training camp and just play basketball. Just know now, Miles, just be out the way. We don't want to hear from you. Just play basketball. It's easy. I know young rich men get bored. I get it. Just stay out the news, man. Just stay away from them. Stay away from social media. Just go be with your family. Something. Jesus Christ, man. Ugh. You're not speechless a lot. You're speechless, aren't you? You don't know what to say right now, do you?
You know how I feel about rappers. And you know what's crazy? LaMelo probably texted him like, yo, that shit was hot.
That was fire, dog.
We off this season.
Take it back. That's the best suggestion I've heard all night, man. Like, I got to go listen to real rap to get that out of my system.
Like, I don't.
Oh, God.
Okay, so I know that rap is entertainment. It's just entertainment. It's not. It's not real, right? Like, right. I think we got to the point with 50 plus years of hip hop. Like what rappers say, that's just some entertainment shit, right? It's just
they just say stuff sometimes. Yeah,
right. Yeah, it's just actors. Okay, even I say shit in my raps that like you'd be like, "Oh, Kaiser Soze is not really like chainsawing people's head." You know what I'm saying? So I get it, right? But it's like when you're in the public eye, and especially when you have the kind of reputation that he now has with the league and the fans. Like, is this really what you should be doing? And I hate to say that about hip hop, but like you gotta clean up your image first, right?
Because you know, like I know, perception is reality to a lot of people, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. He said, "Play it again." Oh man,
can we stomach that one more time, bro?
I just don't. At least I can say I know that there's one thing that I can do better than Miles Bridges, right? I can't play basketball,
right,
or the shit, but I can certainly rap better than that guy. But then again, my kids can rap better than Miles Bridges. So is that really like? And you know, I'm not even like kidding. My son can rap better than Miles Bridges, right? So it's like
no, you're not kidding. I've heard your son rap. That is a true statement.
Yeah, like is this really like? At least he didn't have Terry Rozier on the track this time.
Right. Well, remains to be seen.
Terry had some bars though. He had some bars.
Who, Rozier?
Yeah, Terry Rozier on that track. Him and Miles Bridges dropped.
Well, I mean, compared to Miles, yeah.
Okay, actually, you know what? And maybe it's the curse. This is why we keep losing. Remember when Lance Stevenson got signed? Now I know everyone hates the moves that the Rich Cho Michael Jordan era made, but if y'all didn't think that Lance Stevenson signing was fire, you're lying, because he was the number one free agent that season, right? We got him. But what was the first thing he did as a Charlotte Hornet?
Release a damn rap song.
Rap video with Kemba Walker. Kemba didn't rap. He was in the video though.
He released a
rap video. Instead of getting your ass in the gym, you writing bars, you making videos.
Yeah, we all know how that. And see, and here's where perception can turn to reality, because Lance Stevenson totally forgot how to shoot the damn ball when he got to Charlotte. You know what I mean?
How to play defense. Yeah, Dame Lillard is the best rapper.
Dame Lillard is definitely an outlier. He's an outlier. Yeah.
I don't know if I would like listen to a Dame Lillard album. I mean, if the production was hot, I might. Right. But I think when you look at all the rappers in history, it's like Dame, and then Shaq, and then Kobe, and then AI.
I don't give a damn what nobody says. Shaq's first album is a damn classic.
Shaq has some bangers.
Shaq's first album is classic, bro.
You Can't Stop the Rain.
You Can't Stop the Rain. Come on, man.
Shaq has some bangers.
What's up, Doc?
Right.
Yeah, man.
But Miles, you're not even on Kobe, and Kobe couldn't rap. I mean, he could rap. He could like rap. He rapped like a mid-2000s rapper, right?
Yeah. Remember that song Brian McKnight had him on? Remember that?
Right, yeah. Allen Iverson had an album. It wasn't good. So Miles, we're just gonna add Miles Bridges to the just y'all gotta win this season, Charlotte Hornets. Y'all gotta win.
Yeah. Somebody needs to win, please, man. Somebody.
I bet Brandon Miller is not in the booth.
Right. Let's hope not. Jesus Christ. Let's hope not.
Brandon Miller's in the gym.
Let Brandon getting shots up. Brandon working on that handle and his strength.
Right, yeah.
What's Brandon doing right now? Anyway, Kaza, what's for dinner tonight, man?
Lulu's. Have you ever been to Lulu's? Or
are they open now?
They're on DoorDash. So I've been.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they close at like 8:30. So I think I might get some grilled salmon from Lulu's. That's my restaurant.
That sounds like a winner right there, bro. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right.
And
I was looking for ideas, man. I was gonna maybe go Craven Caribbean tonight, but I'm kind of wearing them out, man. So I need some suggestions.
Yeah, Lulu's. It's raining out there though, so you've DoorDash before. I'm like, if y'all order DoorDash, please tip your driver. They coming
out. Damn drivers out. No, stop being cheap. Yeah, for real.
Although, man, let me ask you've DoorDash before, man. Why can't be just leaving stuff on my front porch and bouncing? Like,
I'm gonna tell you what.
Let me know my food is here.
Because there's a little option on your order that says "leave at door" that goes.
I turn that joint off. You got to ring my door.
Well, if they're still doing that, man, and then you need to holler at them, man.
I had a DoorDash one time ask me for cat. What's that?
Some old black lady got real mad at me because, like, why did you leave my food on the porch? I'm like, motherfucker, because you said to do it. Like, right here. Like,
she ain't know.
She ain't had to yell at me like that, though.
We'll leave on this comment. Would we rather them rap or keep with those parties? Look, I'm still trying to get an invite to one of those parties. Y'all know.
I think they had a winning record when those parties was going on. So
you're right. Hey, bring the parties back. Call Brandon Miller. It's time to get in.
LaMelo tell Tiana holler at some of her girls.
Them parties
it's probably
still more entertaining than the Panthers season. Boy, what a train wreck! Okay, so at least I'll say this. I'll end this one. At least I feel like I have some interest in next week's game.
No doubt.
I want to see how
there's a story. There's a storyline to follow at least.
Right. Yeah. And although the commentators are just going to talk, they're just going to shit on Bryce Young the entire broadcast.
Yeah,
but it, you know,
it is what
at
it
least,
is, man.
at least we'll see. And you guys will see us next Sunday where we'll talk about how badly the Panthers got smoked in Las Vegas. So
No doubt. Hey, again, thank y'all for joining us on this random Monday night, man. We really appreciate it. Thank y'all, man.
Yeah. I like this midweek breaking news because I mean it's not typical. Normally it's like, somebody on the Hornets was gangbanging or something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's always some wild shit.
Right.
Some negative stuff. It's not
at least
great,
this is sports. At least this is
sports related, right?
Right.
It's not, people moving bricks, which has actually happened. Isn't that crazy? A Charlotte Hornets player caught moving keys across state lines.
Oh God, never a dull moment, bro. Ever, man.
Oh, I love Charlotte sports.
I love Charlotte sports, man. Gotta love it, man.
Yeah, I keep wanting to retire and maybe be a Chiefs fan, but they don't have these kind of this kind of excitement.
Hey, man, if you're going bandwagon, you can just go all the way with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You go back. I have my Chiefs gear on, ready.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Get my Chiefs gear, man. Get my LA Dodgers gear. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, buddy. Go all the way.
Yes, sir. Hey, we'll see y'all next week. Y'all have a good week. Be safe.